Okay. Ready?
She's ready.
Are you ready? Ready to record? All right. Hello, and welcome to the Bold Black Girls Ready to Love Recap with No Cap. Hello, and welcome to the Bold Black Girls Ready to Love Recap with No Cap. I'm Aries.
And I'm Kim.
And this week was a lot going on.
It was very interesting, needless to say.
Right. So this is the week that the men introduced the
ex-girlfriend.
The girls to the ex. So we already know how those
one
go.
Of their ex-girlfriends.
One ex. And last season they had the women introduce the men to their ex. So I was actually glad. I'd rather than meet the guys.
Same.
Ex, honestly. So let's hop right into it. The first date was Cornelius, Camille, and his ex, Tamika. Okay, first of all, Camille, she is just full of red flags. Like everything about her is a red flag. Like she walks in and she's like, I see an extra set of heels.
Exactly.
I said, dang.
She is observant.
She is looking for it. And she said to the ex, she meets the ex and she's like, letting her know that she had been engaged 3 times. That caused some, conversation to take place where Camille says that she went to counseling and, she's ready to actually be married this time. And, God wasn't in the mix on the last ones. And, she's now ready to, use the word to get, through things. I was like, oh.
And that might be the case. And she said, rather be 3 times not engaged than 3 times divorced. I mean,
yeah, if you want to,
But it's like, dang, how did you get engaged 3 times and neither one of them came to fruition?
3 is a lot. She said she was saying something like, I was young. Well, what, for all of them? Yeah. Her son obviously came from one of those engagements, which is something else that she brought out there too.
Her son, she mentions his quest.
Mm-hmm. And then she also said that it was a couple other things that she said too, but I could tell like the ex was not, really buying
at
her
all.
act. When she left, she asked Cornelius, when is she leaving? She ain't got nowhere to go.
I know, like how long is she gonna be here?
First of all, again,
like you aren't girlfriend, boyfriend.
Are they?
Well, maybe.
We don't know.
I don't know.
Well, she acting like it, and she got him wrapped around her little finger because
she did claim him in the first season, so maybe that is her
first episode. In her head.
Yeah, first episode. Maybe that is her boyfriend in her head.
So what Tamika said was that she had good answers on the surface, but she's unsure about what is underneath. And so she said, if you came to me and was like, I want to propose tomorrow, I'm gonna say hold off on that.
Yeah, she definitely was concerned about her being engaged 3 times, which. We always say we have red flags with men with multiple kids by multiple women. Like, let's talk about what's red flags in women.
That's true. Like, because I've been married twice, honey, and I know that somebody gonna be looking at me talking about, you been married twice? Yes, I have. And I'll be going, how many kids you got?
How many
baby mamas you got? Okay.
How many baby mamas gonna be there?
I'm like, I got 2 kids. I've been married twice, and they only got 1 daddy. And I'll be trying to keep. I'm like, and I'm keeping it that way. And I don't.
And that's why you have to understand the story, right?
Yes.
You were young, so I try not to, judge a book by its cover.
Mm-hmm.
However, some things will tell me some things that I need to know before I say, "Oh, let me get into this book and read it."
And that's why you're asking certain questions. It's like, okay, I have 3 kids. Okay, how many moms?
Yep.
If it's like I was married, I got 3 kids, but they got the same mom. Okay, I might be a little bit more open to that.
Yep. And then how many times do you see your kids?
Right. Let's talk about those relationships. What does that look like? Are y'all co-parenting? Is it good? If you got 3 different mamas, you don't
that's
even have
not
time
for me, sir.
You already know that co-parenting ain't
for yourself.
Somebody's not gonna be happy.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's just a whole nother thing. But it seemed like it went well considering, but also really, we already know what Camille is like, so nothing surprising in this except for her and them doggone facial expressions. As soon as she's like, finding out that she's the ex. She's like, okay, that face. I'm like, girl, you got to control that.
She's in theater.
Yeah, well, you need to learn how to control your face.
Or she should call Tyler Perry and get in one of his movies. Girl, make you some money, go with that theatrical stuff.
Yes.
Monetize your skill and that gift.
Exactly. Okay, so the next date was Phil, Shiloh, Tasia, and Sabrina. I think her name is Sabrina. His ex.
Yeah.
And first of all, I don't think Phil knew that Tasia was coming.
Really?
Because when I made a note, I said, when she came, he was like, oh, like he was very surprised. And that's when he said, this is awkward. He was not ready for her. He thought it was just going to be Shiloh and the ex. And when that girl walked up, he was like, oh, go back and watch it when you see it later. I was like, oh, he didn't know she was coming. Because I watched it twice because I had to do my notes. Okay. But I went and I said, oh, he didn't know. I didn't pick it up on the first watch either. But I said he did not know. So
I really like Phil.
I'm going to get to that. I like Phil too. Out of all the guys, Naeem and Phil are the only ones that I'm okay with.
Yeah.
Tasia didn't like the way they were sitting.
Because not the arrangement. The seating arrangement was not. And I don't know, maybe, I don't know what it is. She's like, he should have been sitting here. Because you know how people sit at the head. And the head of the table is usually the husband. So maybe that is.
I mean, I feel her because it was like she's further away from him.
Body language says a lot.
She said she felt like she was like the side chick or the home wrecker or something like that. She called it
the home wrecker.
She said that how they were sitting wasn't indicative of how the relationship generally is, which I was like, but when she introduced him to her friends, she wasn't sitting next to him either. She was sitting across from him, which she should have been sitting next to him. But I just didn't see the connection between them, to be honest with you. Like,
I really didn't either.
But because remember in the beginning, she was checking him lightweight for why she got put in the bottom in the first episode. Remember? And he said, well, I hadn't talked to you, you know? So I'm assuming that they started talking after that. But I just never really saw like the, touching, the chemistry. I never see it with them. So I was just kind of like, I don't know. I feel like they just that was all she had. So anywho, what else happened?
But Phil and Shiloh.
When the ex asked about deal breakers, what are your deal breakers or whatever like that? There's a couple nuances. I rewound this part a couple times because I was really trying to understand why Tasia was upset, because she was like, is this what they doing, cutting me off, when she was trying to talk?
Yeah.
But what it was is that the ex said, what are some of your deal breakers? And then Tasia was like, deal breakers? And the ex elaborated, yeah, like pet peeves, da 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 da. And then Shiloh answered. So I think that Shiloh just was thinking, we're just clarifying, and now whoever wants to jump in can jump in. I don't think she was trying to cut Tasia off, but she took it that way. Like, is this what we're doing? They trying to cut me off and all this. And I'm like, that
they negativity. Know what your deal breakers are. Like, do you know what they are?
But it was negativity with her assuming that they're trying to do something to her.
Yep.
And it's like, come on now.
And that she became the victim.
Yeah. And so then what she did was she messed herself up on the next question, because you assumed that Shiloh was going to try to cut you off again, you was quick to answer the question about what your ex would say negative about you or whatever. That ain't the question you want to be answering quick and first. I would have been like, let me let her answer that. Mm-hmm. Don't worry about my... But she jumps in, and says, I could be uptight, I'm calculated, strategic. And he almost spit his drink out when she said that, because that's not attractive. Telling somebody that you're strategic and calculated
or relationship,
that's not something you want to say out loud. More than likely, you can say that to yourself, but yeah. And guess what? Shiloh did not answer. She let her go through all that beating, because the girl said, well, what would she kept asking more questions, like, well, what would your ex say? Like, is that all? Like, what else would they saying? She's like, well, I don't feel comfortable talking to you about this. She got an attitude. And then Shiloh said, well, let me ask you a question about Phil.
Yeah, which I like, right? Like, what do you think are his breakdowns? And she said he has communication challenges.
Mm-hmm. But I said, well, actually, Shiloh is the strategic one. Why are you playing?
She flipped that.
She sure did, because I was like, she didn't even have to answer. And let's get on Phil. What's your problem?
Right. Yeah, because I really do want to know that. But what I did notice is that Phil felt like Tasia was intimidated. He's like, this is the first
She
time.
was.
And he said, this is the first time I've ever seen her intimidated.
Or like nervous or something like that. You could see it in her face. She was just like, and this is what I noticed to see it, and we'll get to it. Zadia, Camille, the more like dominant personality women are not comfortable when there's other women around. Like they come off very easily intimidated by other women.
Zadia
and that's I'm like, so you miss this confidence, and I'm a boss, and I'm out here doing this, and then when another woman walks in, all of a sudden you like,
it's a problem.
Because they did that when Sydney came in to the game. Remember when she came in at the pool party, and then it was Camille and Zadia was sitting there. Well, y'all want to go? It's like, why y'all tripping? Be cool. Just be a cool person.
Hey, girl, what's up?
Yeah, welcome. If you need anything, let me know. It's crazy out here, girl. These men is whatever, like, because it's a fair game. It's really not. And I guess because this year, maybe this is how it is, but it is definitely a competition.
Mm-hmm.
But it should not be, in my opinion. I'm going to be me, right? Like, regardless. I'm not about, hey, if you feeling her more than me, that's fine. If we have our dates, we have a good time together. You go off and have a date with somebody else, that's on you. And you're going to figure out who is the best fit for you, as I'm going to do the same thing for me, because I'm going to be going out with all the dudes that I want to go out with.
And you don't just want to force it with people.
Why would you do that? Because now it's not real. It's not the natural. I want you to be like, no, she's the best one for me. That out of all these women that I've gone on dates with.
I want to say that too. Like, she's the best one. He's the best one.
Exactly.
We both agree. We mutually agree.
Yeah. I mean, and that's just in the real world. In the real world.
Even in a job. Like,
yes.
I interview you, you interview me. I think this will be a great partnership.
Yeah. So I didn't like that she was very negative, and she's like, I ain't trying to be nobody's ex's best friend. Nobody asked you all that. It's really more about her trying to figure out how you are and if you're going to be good for him. And, hopefully you do like Shiloh, ask her some questions, or whatever. So she didn't do well there. I know. I was like, she going home tonight. My predictions have been on point.
Yeah, I was like, she's going home.
I'm like, she out of here next week.
She's gone. So what do you feel about Phil? Like, what are your thoughts on him?
Phil, I think Phil has been very integral in this situation, because he's not selling anybody wolf tickets. He's really being honest. He is being careful with his words, and to not like lie or, say something that's not, leading someone on or ranking them and be like, you're my number one, even though we all know that Shiloh is his number one.
Right.
But if he don't have to say that, you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't think he's leading anybody on to think more than
he understands the assignment.
Yeah. I was like, okay. His underbite still bothers me, but everybody else is fine with it.
Oh my gosh.
Let me see who was next. Hold on.
We got Frank.
All right. So what was it? Frank, Sydney,
and
Moomin, and his ex Leah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Frank basically said that he could see himself with both of these women for a lifetime. And I was like, stop, just stop it.
And he hugs his ex, and he's like, I think she still looks great. I'm like,
he has a very sexual
energy.
Yeah, I think that's a yeah. I just, something about him I'm not feeling. But anyway, Sydney came in. Moomin came in first, and Sydney came in, and Sydney was looking cute. She just always be smiling and bubbly and everything. She had questions.
I mean, a note full of questions.
Okay, first of all,
a note named Frank. I was like, my girl, she got the notes.
Girl. She asked all the
questions. She was ready.
Didn't give him a chance to ask nothing about them.
Girl.
Didn't give her a chance to get, how.
But I understand. She like, listen, he out here living this nightlife. I want to know what's up with him.
She's in the nightlife too.
This is true.
But I'm like, they're using this as an opportunity for the ex to tell them what they think. And obviously she's gonna get a chance to do that, but they were using this opportunity to ask her a bunch of questions about him, from what I saw. So Leah said they asked her about like, why did she leave? Why she's not with him basically anymore? And she said attention. that she didn't get enough attention, which is why she's not with him. I said,
That's a
interesting.
very good question. I always want to know, like, why didn't it work with you? And the attention could be because of the nightlife and what he's doing, right?
Right. And maybe for Sydney, that's fine. That she's in the same thing. Perhaps. I don't know about Mumin, but he was really he's like, oh my God, they asking all these questions. And
he started sweating.
Yeah. So she gets up and, oh, you're sweating. Let me get up. Right. Now, here, I'm going to tell you about Sydney. Sydney is going to flirt. Okay. I'm not mad at it. I'm like, hey, that's what this show is about. You're going to put that energy out there and see what you can make happen with it. And I just cracked up. I said, oh, she's the one. She be having it. She knows
she's
how
the strategic one.
And she has a positive energy. She's bubbly. She's always just smiling and friendly. And this is what is attractive. I think a lot. Not only is she attractive, period, right? But her she comes off with
she exudes
positive personality. Yep,
exactly.
Yeah. So guys gonna like that, If you up here like, what that ain't attractive. I'm sorry.
Man or woman.
And if it is, the man is not. He's not a strong person. Any man that is like,
but
usually you have passive men that like more aggressive women, and sometimes vice versa. You'll see those that's the opposite attract piece that I'll see a lot, where you'll see like a woman who has this like super dominant, and the dude is more chill and laid back and not really like saying nothing. It's not that often you're gonna see like these two strong personality people just being like, somebody's gonna be a little less,
They have it kind of has to. Well, I'm not gonna say it has to be that way, but
yeah, because I know I need a strong, masculine man,
strong, confident.
Because I do. It's funny because never mind, we ain't talking about me. We're talking about me. Anyways,
but Moomin, is it Moomin or Moomin? Moomin, she notices it, right? Mm-hmm. She notices the chemistry, but she said, I'm gonna keep it cool. She seemed like she was secure. And it's like, well, if it's gonna work, it's gonna work itself out, right? Like, I'm not gonna force. And I feel like a lot of times we force things.
Yeah.
But Moomin is like,
She's like, I see the chemistry, but it's all good. I'm secure where I am. I said, well, go, girl. Leah asked what their favorite thing about Frank was. And Sydney's like, well, I don't really have a favorite thing. I mean, I just am drawn to him. And I was like, oop, you're messing up right there. Depth. You better have something. Mumin she said his heart for people and all that. She might have just made that up right then and there. Because, but, and she uses the opportunity because Sydney didn't have anything. So I'm like, you better have thought of something.
So she came in with a stronger, like, let me share my thoughts.
I know him better. I'm connecting with him more, let that out there. So Leah did tell Frank that, these are two different women. So you need to be more clear about what you want, because those are two different situations that you're going to be.
And she was really stuck on who's the best fit for him.
So next we move into, oh my God, I can't wait to talk about this one.
Why?
This is the one right here. Walter, Sabrina, Mumin, and Denise, the ex. Okay.
The ex. I was not expecting the ex.
Let's talk about this ex before we even get into this conversation.
The nails. I was like, he didn't
everything
seem like her
about her threw me.
It threw me.
For a loop.
Me too.
I said, woo, I had that all wrong. I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, I just, how somebody could just not fit what you have in your mind?
She did not fit.
And I said, okay, it's something about Walter I must not really have my finger on. Which
we are missing.
And he said it. In 50 Shades of Light Skin with his little sexual self. Talking about those who know.
Right?
I need to know more.
I was
about
like, what we need to know, Walter?
Tell us. What
we want to know. The people want to know.
Dominatrix and what else you got going on? She had the nails and everything about her. It just did not look like what I thought. And that's why you just don't know. You don't know what people be. You don't know. We don't know enough. And we need to know more about these 20 years with Mr. Walter being by himself outside of that. It was 2003 when the wife died. Okay. So that's a long time between 2021. What you been doing?
Some exploration.
We need to understand. Anywho, Sabrina had very negative energy.
She did.
She looked beautiful.
She did.
But she was not. I have a lot of different thoughts about Sabrina after this episode. I was like, she really is lightweight stank in her. I wasn't liking what she had going on. This
like now you're seeing episodes where you're getting really to see the true Sabrina.
And when I think back on prior ones, I'm like, it was there.
It all connects.
It was there. Yeah, it was there. So she had negative energy. You know, the ex asked her, she had some crazy in her, the way she, I guess, answered the questions. And she's like, I'm too classy and fabulous to be crazy. I said, she crazy.
Yep. Yep.
I'm too classy and fabulous. She really was saying more classy and fabulous than you, honey. That's what she was saying.
In a sense.
I'm just translating.
Because I'm
translating.
Sure
she looked
surprised.
at her and was like, honey, you can't ask me no questions. How dare you? Even though she on this little side, she was, she had class style. Girl, you're lying. What else? Denise asked if Sabrina had any questions for her, and she said, honey, I don't need to talk to anybody else about Walter. I could ask him, and I'm going to trust that he's giving me an answer. I said, that's when you just like, you have dismissed this woman completely.
She dismissed this woman, okay?
Because if you're meeting the ex, I mean, you should have some questions.
I would have questions.
It's dependent upon the information. Like, for instance, if somebody met my ex-husband, why? I mean, you really can't ask no questions about us in our relationship because that was 8 years ago. We're totally different people now. You know what I mean? If y'all just broke up last year or a year before or something, now I can ask you a little bit more about them and their personality or something like that. But somebody that was a long time ago, no, I'm not the same person, that I was even a few years ago, honestly.
Maybe I'm not the same person I was pre-pandemic.
So exactly. No, seriously, because I did get out of a little situation right before the pandemic,
right?
And it ain't the same. As soon as Mumin got there, she was like, I gotta go. Sabrina was like, I have an appointment. I'm like, why are you lying? She was like, I ain't about to sit here and this is not my crowd.
Exactly. I think Walter saw her in a different light too.
Mm-hmm.
Something.
Yeah. And I think he did too. I feel like there's definitely some editing that went on that we didn't get to see. Because when the ex asked Mumin about being sexual or how are you sexually or something, I'm like, yes, first of all,
because that is something that Walter that's important.
That man is out here, y'all.
And he said it.
And he's like,
these shades of light skin,
making eyes. And I said, you better be paying attention to what's going on over here, Miss Mumin, because he about to. And okay, this is how I know that ex, she knows some things about how he is. And something must have happened because the way Mumin answered, she was like, well, let me get this out here first, that I'm not having sex before. I feel like that was a continuation from something else. Maybe they said something in between and then she like needed to just address that to get that out the way.
To let the people know. I was like, okay. But I like how Mumin stays firm on that.
She does. I hope she actually stays firm on that in actual real life.
Right.
Because right now I feel like she's just on the show. She doesn't have a connection on the show. So she needs to just bow out at this point because honestly, these men that she's picked, what are you doing? Why are we talking to them? Neither one of them. They're both hypersexual. You ain't having sex until marriage. Talking about you gonna wait a year or two. They not about to wait no year or two to have sex with you.
Not Dante.
Not Frank and not Walter. So what we doing? You think that they just gonna because it's you, they're gonna wait. Okay. They ain't gonna be waiting with you, but they ain't gonna be waiting. The ex liked her. She liked Mumin and said she doesn't think that Mumin's gonna wait. She's like, that's gonna be harsh. I don't think she's gonna wait. First of all,
how you gonna talk about this woman? What she
gonna do? You don't know what her limits are, her levels are, like
her self-control.
That's just kind of weird.
But
she did say that Sabrina gave her crazy vibes.
Classy and fabulous.
She said she gave me crazy vibes. I was like, yeah, I can see that because I see them as well. Any other thoughts on that date?
I don't know. I think Walter got a perspective from the ex that he had missed with Sabrina.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I think that was good for him to see a little bit more. Maybe Moomin is not the one for him either.
Yeah.
You know, but which I don't think she is. But if you just ignore the red flags just to be on the show, or to just get a person, you know, they're not gonna make it after this. You know, they might say yes and be together at the end, but they're not about to be together after the show.
I don't think so.
We go to Dante, Zadia, and Shiloh. Again, Mrs. Zadia, who is easily intimidated by other women's presence, is sitting there on this day, and then Shiloh comes. She's like,
I didn't know about Shiloh. I'm gonna need another drink.
Was I the only one that didn't know? Was everybody else in on it? And I wasn't. Her and Cecilia. There we go already. Negative. You lean toward negative automatically. Was I the only one who didn't know? Everybody else knew what's going to
like. So apparently they did not know. Maybe that the production was sending them in, right?
I already know that production is 100% trying to surprise folks.
Yep.
And it's just, I don't get that. I don't know why they do that. That is, Drama. I don't know. Exactly.
It's sales.
They want to get the reaction and see how y'all gonna do and stuff. And it's like, can I get another drink?
Yes, that was hilarious. I'm gonna need another drink.
I don't like her. And this is not her personal. This is her, what I'm seeing on the show. I'm acting like these are fake characters.
Did. Remember at first we were like,
you liked her. I never really was liking her like that. Like,
and then I'm starting. That's why it's like you really have to see deep down, like get in those chapters.
Yeah, because I was like something with her when she was saying like I get what I want and I'm spoiled, and I was like, I'm not really liking those type of things when people say that. Because it just feels selfish and
I think it was controlling. That interaction that her and was it Tyrone, the one who
when he told her about the PTSD.
Yeah, I think it was that interaction for me.
I think she did well in that conversation with him.
Yep.
But I think that she had to pull from somewhere to get that.
Yeah.
Because she was trying to be sensitive and also you're on camera.
True.
But I think naturally that's why he liked Shiloh, because she's naturally positive and she's naturally gonna be like, you know what?
Listen, Sydney and Shiloh about to shut it down with the positivity.
Right, exactly.
You might want to lean to the positive aspect of life.
And this is why I think also she was feeling away, because on this date with Dante, now you got Shiloh again, you know, as another competitor, I guess you would say, in the dating thing. And so the ex basically, let me see. She said, the ex had a lot of great things to say about Dante and what she's seeing in him now. And I was like, why y'all don't date
That's
him?
what I want to know. She said,
if I was an ex.
And someone asked her, would you date him? She was like, he's grown a lot. Yeah. I guess since moving to DC. And if she had known him where he is now, she would.
And I think that she should. You already know him. You already a part of the situation with all his stuff. You need to just go on over there and just get back there. And maybe they rekindle something after this. You never know. People might see them again and be like, you know, you need to be with me. Shiloh was more positive when she said, anything you can share about why he would be good for us. You know, like give us some more anxiety. And to add to that, and a warning shot as well. Like, I said, this girl is so negative. So negative. I couldn't be her friend.
I put that in my note. I was like, she was a bit negative.
I couldn't be her friend at all. I just couldn't.
I think Dante started to see that negativity as well.
This is good for everyone in these moments. You get to see. That's why you got to bring people around, folks.
Yep.
See how they are in different scenarios, how they're going to react.
And you also need to see them in conflict and how they will respond and react.
Yeah. So give it time
response
for seasons to happen where you can see them in different situations, when they're sad, when they're mad, when they're super happy, who are their friends, who do they hang around, what are they like, are they dookie or not? Are they positive? Are they motivating? Are they, like you'll start knowing what they're getting poured into them as well by the type of people they have around them. It's a lot of stuff that we got to start looking at with these people. So yeah.
Instead of just the cover of the book.
The ex liked Shiloh more and said that Zadia was digging for dirt. And what did he say? Shiloh was digging for gold.
Sir.
Everybody likes Shiloh.
It's positivity wins sometimes, most times.
Oh yes, it definitely does with me. If you're negative, I'm like, I'm running away
I'm
from
done.
you. I can't do it. I'm sorry. My favorite Naeem had Zadia and Victoria, his ex, Victoria, on a date. Victoria wants Naeem back. Let me just start this off with that.
Yes. I'm like, and he said he likes sticker full of woman. I'm like, this is it. Why aren't you all
He
together?
she wants him back. So we
She
go get
definitely wants him.
Zadia was better on this date, obviously. Why?
It was just her.
There we go.
It's
She was being cute and trying to, like, be all soft. And I feel like the fact that she didn't even pick up on the fact with the ex. You be so focused when there's other chicks coming in from the show, you wasn't even picking up on the fact that the ex was saying some stuff that should have had you on alert.
Correct.
First of all, and I'm gonna get to that.
I'm like, why aren't they together?
She says, physical touch isn't on his list. The ex said the physical touch. She said he doesn't like to cuddle, and she's like, well, maybe he just didn't want to cuddle with me. He said, I ain't never said that. She's like, and they going back and forth. And Zadia even was like, whoa, but she wasn't taking it like, is there something still going on here? Why didn't you read that? You should have read that.
And they cut it out.
Anywho, well, in her little side confessional thing, she didn't say nothing. She just said, maybe that's something I need to be paying attention to. Just about him, not that the ex liked him, but that's what I was looking at. I said, this heifer want him.
Yeah, and something was interesting. I think Zadia had asked the question, and she said, why do you think he hasn't, stayed in a long-term relationship? And she said he's very particular.
And guarded.
Yes. So it's like, why is he guarded?
And then this is what I heard. Victoria says, when she said that, she said, because I would have never, because they were talking a little bit and you could hear her say, because I would have never thought he would be in this situation. Like on the show and doing all that, like you on a dating show? Like what? So I was paying attention to her because she was sipping that drink and looking like,
I'll eat you up.
I was like, woo. So anywho, Victoria, after Zadia left, said she wonders about Zadia's ability to be there for him emotionally. Which she knows I could see that. Yeah. Because she said she's spoiled. So that means it's all about her. And how are you going to really be there for someone? Like I said, I feel like she was digging like deep down to be gentle to Tyrone, that day, even though she said, I build people's mind, body, and spirit or soul or whatever she said. And you don't get that from her on the show at all. And I'm like, how are you doing it? You're just working out? Because I'm not seeing you being very like
affectionate, caring, compassionate. Yes.
And it's like, I don't know what it is. And I hope that they see themselves and want to do some work on that, because that's not going to draw people to you. This whole guarded, I'm an alpha female, thing. Even if you are an alpha female, she described herself as an alpha in the beginning of the I think on the casting special or one of those things. And it's like, to even say that you are one, even if you are, it just is something where it's like announcing yourself, right? Like if you're an alpha, you an alpha. Regardless, you're going to be that no matter what. When you walk in the room, people going to recognize that's what the energy you're bringing. And that doesn't have to be negative energy. Sometimes people think being an alpha is just being like, I'm the boss and y'all got to be listening to what I'm saying. Boss. No, but you may still bring that alpha energy and be positive because of the way you lead in a positive way. You might still be all about
trailblazing, but you have this positive outlook and people gravitate to that.
Yeah, but these folks are coming with the straight negativity, which I'm not surprised her and Camille are cool.
Oh, yeah. I know. I saw that.
But I also noticed that so now let me pull something back real quick before we continue. I went back and looked at the argument scene from last week. We missed something.
What we missed?
When Tommy walked away from the table, right? Tasia said right off the bat, because he said, y'all got to make some decisions when he left, right? And that's when they started talking. She said, speaking of decisions, has Cornelius made his decision yet?
Yes.
Cornelius had Zadia on his list. And this is why this started this is where Zadia said, yeah, but she said he hasn't said it, but he needs to hurry up because it's getting ridiculous. She started this whole conversation about picking and narrowing down your choices. She wanted him to pick, right? And that's when they start saying, well, Aisha said, well, you still got your list. It wasn't, remember, I was thinking like, why they making her pick? She ain't got to pick. Why she got to pick? It wasn't about her pick. She had pointed it out first that Cornelius needed to pick. Well, why he got to pick if you haven't picked? That's what Aisha was saying. She was like, well, you haven't narrowed your list down.
Exactly.
And she's like, well, I don't got to pick. She's like, she didn't even picking up on the fact that like you trying to make him pick, but you didn't pick either. And that's why when she went out, she wanted to go on that date with him to tell him that you need to get your act together because she was one of the ones. And you just broke up with me right now. I said that because I was so on her side, like to a certain point on the, like, why does she have to pick? Like, I didn't get it. I didn't like her attitude, obviously. And it was stank. But it came because she was one of the ones on his list. Because why would somebody say has Cornelius picked when we all know that he's Cornelius with Camille? Right? Like clearly she was on his list still, you know, and that's why she jumped in being like,
we need some unedited versions.
I need the behind the scenes.
Yes.
But that right there, I was like, sometimes you got to go back and rewatch some of this to see what's really going on, the context. But one thing that Victoria said was that women see Naeem as a way up and out. I said, oh, Naeem got some money.
But Naeem that was also her strategy to put that in his head so that she probably wouldn't choose because she still wants him.
He said, well, I never really see that. And she said, yeah, because you're only looking at her booty.
She planted that. That was her way of planning that. That was a diversion.
She might have been saying like, she's a fitness trainer. She's trying to come over here.
Exactly.
And that ain't good enough.
And maybe somebody knows something because I remember Camille was like, you do make $100,000, right? It's like, I'm not
at least 100. First of all, we are beyond. Never mind. Maybe everybody ain't. I ain't about to even go there. Y'all watch our regular podcast. Y'all want to talk about some of this other stuff that we got to talk about. I'm gonna say we beyond 100,000.
Exactly.
You can't do nothing with that no more.
Not with inflation.
If you trying to really be doing something. Anywho,
this last one, it was a surprise. This was like, okay, this is a bonus. Sydney is interested in Phil. She kills it with the positivity, right? She wants to make a connection, and baby girl knew what she was doing. A workout day in some tight pants.
No, she got that body, yaddy. But see, Sydney likes a challenge, and she saw that all these women was liking Phil, and she's like, let me see what's going on, and I'm about to peel. Let me try to peel him. She knew exactly what she was doing. She put that flirt game on 1,000. And I think it's too late for Phil because he's with Shiloh. Okay, we're gonna just commit that. But she has a very flirty nature. It's good for the show. It opened his eyes to, you know,
something else
potential. We never know. When they get to this little trip, they might be in the hot tub or something together. You never know.
Because they are going on a trip.
So yeah, I just saw that, you know, again. Sydney is working her way around because, again, she needs to also solidify her fate. So she needs to make sure she's going on enough dates. Yeah, she's like, Frank might not be the one that saves me. I need to get somebody else that likes me enough where I don't go home. Yeah. So she did that because I don't know if her name even came up, but
Joe was peeping Phil and she initiated the date.
She did. I was like, so smart.
So like, look at her being strategic.
You ain't gotta tell nobody.
Just do it.
Kids these days. That's what Marvin says all the time. So Walter, the guys go to the gentleman's lounge and they're debriefing about their experience with the exes in the, you know. And Walter tells it. He says, you know, his ex told him that you know, if you strike the wrong nerve, Sabrina will go off.
And she is a wild card.
And she's a wild card. And I second that. And we're going to find out later that she definitely is. He said that Mumin went from 4th to 3rd to 2nd to 1A, 1B. I said, well, you better work your way on up, even though you ain't giving none up.
But he did say he's digging both of them.
Yeah. And I think
he had made a connection with Sabrina.
Yeah, but I also think I heard Sean on this live earlier today talking about how even with Walter, they hadn't had that many dates. They were talking like outside of the show, but I don't know if Walter knows Sabrina the way he think he know her either. She's beautiful, and I'm sure that they have a good, they have that positive
Chemistry.
energy and all that. But sometimes that can blind you when you're looking,
at the surface.
Yeah. So, and then he went on the date with her and her friends, and he worked the room because that's what he does best. But sometimes we got to really look
deeper,
a little bit
go
further.
deep, and not the deep you thinking about.
That's what he thinking about.
Exactly.
So Phil said, this was the first time he saw Tasia nervous. You had mentioned that earlier. He also said that his ex said she liked them both equally. I don't think that's true.
I don't think that. I was like, how did you?
They didn't show us what she said. I don't believe her. Sorry.
I was like,
she didn't say that.
I didn't get that.
There's
I didn't get that feeling.
And if she did, she's lying. So. We already know that. Dante's ex liked Shiloh. And Dante also mentioned that him and Aisha have been hitting it off lately, and that she's up there. So,
and honestly, that would be a good fit because she doesn't want kids and he doesn't. He
don't need none. That's exactly what I thought of when he said that's a perfect
match.
Y'all can just have a great time. Y'all can go fly out, get flued out, like she said. Parents. Do your thing,
Yeah. You also, when you're dating, you need to figure out like lifestyle.
I agree. I'm in this space now. I'll be like, what if we lived in different houses? Oh, the kids gone for the weekend. I'll come over there. I'll be with you. Then we'll, you got to come up with something that works for you, honey.
You really do.
Cornelius talks about Camille. He tells them about how she was asking when that lady's gonna leave and all this and that. And Tommy said, you ain't seeing no signs. You ain't, right. And he even said it. He's like, yeah, maybe I am missing some signs. No, you're missing them on purpose. You're not missing them. You're seeing them and you're ignoring them.
Can Camille and Cornelius just both be ejected and just go off and just do that?
I want them off. I don't want them to be the last couple just because they're together. Please. And Walter was caping for Cornelius and Camille, and then Cornelius threw Sabrina under the bus when they were talking about who they didn't like. Yes. And Walter's like, we just need to take Camille off the list so that because he's cool with Cornelius, like so that they stay on. But as soon as Cornelius' turn came, he said, Sabrina, I just told you that I'm feeling Sabrina and I had your back. So you know what? Quit caping for other folks. Now you didn't put her on the chopping block, but okay. Right. So Tasia and Sabrina were on the chopping block.
Phil takes Tasia.
Yes, again, respect to Phil. He did not let nobody else take her out. He wasn't no punk like Cornelius did Courtney.
Right.
And let Walter take her out. Phil was like, I want it to be me. That's a man right there.
That is.
I appreciate him having that, having the balls.
And I know
especially with Tasia. Because he even said, she has a type of personality that ain't for everybody.
Yes.
And obviously he felt like he might have been able to handle it, but he just had more positive other women around that were able
Phil
to.
is positive, actually.
Yeah. So I liked that he took that. And then who took the other person out? Oh, Frank took Sabrina out.
Sabrina. Which, ooh.
So wait, let's talk about the Phil Tasia thing first. What were your thoughts about that?
She was negative.
Nothing new.
I felt like
she was being herself.
She was being herself. She's handled it way better than I thought she would, though, to be honest with you.
Well, okay. She's fake. Let's just put that out there. She knows how to save face. She gonna throw shade, but she gonna do it in a very fake, kind of like condescending, very sarcastic way. Like she's, well, I guess being real ain't didn't make the cut, or whatever. She's again strategic, calculated.
She is what she said she is.
So he said she was the realest one out there. Was one on the show, and he really had a lot of positive things to say to her, and he was really trying to care for her feelings as he's talking to her about the experience and all that. And he was like, no, being real does cut it. It's just
it didn't what cut it is. Down.
Yeah, just not now. She said she's still ready to love and she's as happy as she's ever been and all this and that. And I'm just like, girl, stop lying to yourself. But okay.
I want this for you to see her. I'm from Chicago too.
He took care of her, I think, on her on that exit date.
He did a great job.
Yeah, I think he did. And so, like I felt like Naeem did with Carrie when he took her out. Like there's just a way that you can have a conversation with someone. Very, very good. It says a lot. So, Frank and Sabrina.
Ooh, child, this was hard.
This is where I was like, Sabrina, I'm sorry. She's not on my list of people that I care about that much as far as on this show. Like, I can't, that negativity, she hides it well.
She does,
but then it's been, now that we've been seeing her more, we start seeing a lot more of it. And this she showed her ass. She did. Did she not?
Ooh, and I think Frank was struggling, you know,
he said he was
the back and forth. I think I started seeing him in the sweat.
He said, I'm a little nervous when he first started. He was like, you know, I felt okay. So she knew what it was. I think she was ready for the heat. Like she came when she got on that date. She like, first of all, me and Frank wouldn't be going on the date. So when she
called him out, like, I have called you and I haven't gotten a response from you.
She was like, if I'm about to get sent home, I'm about to put it all out there.
And I'm gonna hold you accountable for it.
She sure did. He doesn't respond for days. Don't blow smoke up my ass, is what she said. She said when it's the women's turn to be eliminated, she doesn't hear from the men at all. And she's like, I ain't about to be chasing them. I said, that's interesting. They be trying to be MIA when it's their turn to get eliminated.
Right. And I'm like, are you reaching out to them?
And I'm like, I'm not about to chase on this. Right. Now I get her on that part. It's like, okay, first of all, why we got to chase y'all? Because his complaint was something like that she isn't building, you know, the connection. She's like, I reach out. How much reaching out is the woman supposed to do? The men are supposed to pursue.
That's the problem.
What the heck? Like, I'm not about to chase you down. You need to be hitting me up. Now, I will respond and be reciprocal, but don't be trying to put it all on the women to be doing all the chasing. Like, that's not gonna work. She got loud when she was getting direct with him about how she felt. And I was like, because this person said, the men don't. I said, whoa, that voice starting to get raised up over here. She's not happy right now. I said, wow. It said a lot. And then when he said, the men have decided that we wanted to give you another chance to love, she's like, she kind of laughed like, y'all giving me a chance. What the hell?
Like,
what you think this is? Y'all giving me a chance? Great. I
don't think who she's looking for is on here either.
I don't either. It's yeah. She said, I might as well be dating the women the way I'm out here pursuing.
Dang.
She said, they would love me the way I pursue. I said, wow, that's not good. I hate that for you.
I do.
I want you to be more positive, and I want you
to be pursued.
We need to figure out what this crazy thing that people are, you know, I'm careful when people call people crazy. You know, I don't necessarily like it, but I can see what, you know, this kind of behavior can be called crazy. You know,
there's something that stands out too. Like she talked about the situation with, I think, her child's father and what she got into. That could have made her crazy.
Some people can make it.
Exactly. That situation could have that. Your experiences can sometimes shape you. And if you don't get healing,
you need healing
from those experiences. Because she said he was married.
Yeah.
And she didn't even know.
Was that her?
Yes.
I need to go back. I forgot. Because also Shiloh had that.
Damn.
They both had two. Both of them had that then. Because I do remember that.
That was Sabrina. She was like, I did not know he had a wife and then he had other baby mothers.
I was like,
whoa. So this woman probably is engulfed and entangled and crazy, and it's turned her crazy.
It can do that. I've definitely been in relationships where I was like, I got to get out of this because I'm about to start.
You got to reject it.
I feel myself getting, nope, get me out of here.
Red flag.
Free me. I don't even want to be thinking down the path, because what happens is there's people that you can get with, and the way they think, you'll be like, I remember I was young too. This is one of my first serious relationships. And I was like, I didn't even know to think about some of the stuff that he was bringing to me. You know, I'm like, I didn't even know you talking about. But now that I've been exposed to your crazy, when I'm in something else and I'm like, now that's coming in my head, that came from you. That wasn't my natural way of thinking. Exactly. So you got to reject that crap and like get it out. That's why people need to be going to therapy.
Like you go to the doctor.
Go to therapy. All right. Now, Sabrina got saved, obviously. Zadia went home. And so we'll see what happens next week. Next week, they're going on their trip. They'll be in the house. We already saw there's going to be some drama. Dante was massaging Aisha and stuff.
I was like, perfect match. She don't want kids. He don't need none. I'm just gonna.
Mumin wasn't feeling Walter and how he acts when he's around Sabrina. See, yes. Sabrina is very like, I'm a diva, you know, classy and fabulous. Exactly. And so it probably makes men cater to her a certain way because of that. Mumin is very
chill,
like the friend.
Yeah.
You know, and so not a bad thing, but there's more of that, you know, kind of like, you know, queen vibes coming from Sabrina or whatever. So we'll see how that turns out. And then Zadia and Aisha gonna get into it, honey. Because again, Zadia is about letting you know that she's the alpha in the room. And Aisha is one. And she's also what she reminded me of in that room last week when she was kind of chiming in saying, you got a list and da-da-da-da. And when she came for Sydney, Aisha even came in then and was like, well, people out here, you can't just be putting stuff out there and thinking nobody has the right to come back and say something to you. Like, da-da-da. Very justice warrior-ish, like me. Because you know how I am. Yep. If I'm somewhere that I feel like somebody's bullying someone or trying to, I'm going to say something. That's just how I am. I'll be like, you ain't got to talk to her like that, you know, or whatever. That's just a natural thing. And I see that in Aisha on certain parts, but she has to learn how to control her emotions. And we talked about that earlier. Yes, you know, one was a more sad moment where she was just kind of triggered or whatever, and that's fine. But I think when it comes to these situations, you can't be all going off. She ain't gonna be talking to me like that. We're gonna see what happened next week, what really happened. But she got pretty pissed, and people had to get up and jump in at the man had to. It's a lot going on. Okay, so predictions. Any predictions? Who do we got? We got
honestly, it might be Cornelius. He has no connection with anybody else. Which then is gonna mean
they need to do a 2-for-1.
They really do, a man and a woman.
Just do Cornelius and
let them go
Camille
be
and be like, you know what, guys?
We're gonna do a male and a female. That really they really should, because they always say, oh, the men are in control, the women are no, the men and women are both in control. We're sending one man and we're sending one woman.
They should. Because we got let's see the guys. We got Dante, Walter, Frank, Phil, Nye, and Cornelius, right? Nye only has Zadia. Dante is making his rounds. He's got a couple people. Phil, he's secure. Frank has Sydney, and Sydney's gonna want him to stay because that's her main connection. And then
it's Cornelius.
Yeah, Cornelius gotta go. I'm done with him.
He's not,
and he's not trying to meet nobody else. I mean, I'm okay with them now starting to now they should be narrowing down, but I just feel like they're just not the couple to be having at the end. I'm sorry. None of these couples are really couples to have at the end.
I'll be honest.
This is not like the other seasons. Like there's no real connections on this show that we could see like, oh, I want them. Remember Mike and
yes,
Mike and Shay.
Yeah.
I wanted them so bad. And I really wanted I think his name was Aaron. Remember he got in the hospital or something like that?
Yes.
I wanted him and the other chick, but they kept having these little fights. But I felt like because it was like they really liked each other and stuff. I don't know what happened with them, but I liked there were certain couples that you could say like I liked them and I wanted them. Be
a strong connection.
Yeah. And I'm not seeing any of that this season.
What would be interesting if they brought back all the seasons, mix that up?
Oh, that would be drama.
Chaos.
For real. Yeah. So anywho, y'all go ahead and make sure you subscribe to our channel, like this video, and we'll see y'all next week and see what happened with all the drama and tea. We'll see y'all next time.
Peace.